guys, welcome back. I'm going to be working on the Bride of Pinbot pinball cabinet and the Smash TV at the same time. So basically there's a little bit of paint left on the Smash TV cabinet that I need to get off. Got a little bit on the bottom and there's a little bit on the other side. We're going to use rubbing alcohol. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. And on the Bride of Pinbot cabinet, the owner does not want me to peel off this old vinyl that is on here. This is actually a vinyl decal stuck to the plywood cabinet. It's stuck right to the plywood. In the past, he's messed with them, and Williams plywood sometimes will literally splinter and tear apart when you try to get the vinyl off. So he wants me to just body work over top of this, and we're going to paint this a satin black inside and out. And then he's going to apply the new 2.0 Bride of Pinbot 2.0 artwork, which is vinyl, right over top. So that's how we're going to handle this, because this is stuck extremely well, does not want to come off, and we don't want to create more problems than we need to. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand down any areas that are maybe puckered up. Usually is the case is where the legs go and stuff like that. We'll grind those down, the puckered up vinyl. We'll do body work to flatten all this stuff out. And then, you know, do a light primer to it. Make sure that we can fill in any dents and nicks, because when the new artwork goes on, we want this to be perfectly smooth. We want the artwork to look awesome. We don't want it to be ripply looking and indents and stuff in the artwork, because there's indents and imperfections in the cabinet itself. So I'm going to be working on sanding this down, getting it body worked so that we can get it primered. I've got a ton of stuff going on in the shop. This truck's here for a full paint job, satin black paint job with gloss trim, gloss black trim. So satin black with gloss black trim. The Chevy dually that was sitting here is in the spray booth. I am going to paint the roof and back wall on it tomorrow. So it's sitting in there now. And then later in the week, I'm painting the rest of that thing. So, and I'm starting the body work on this tomorrow as well. So I got a lot going on as far as vehicles go. And I got to get this stuff done as well. This and this, which I have to make room. I got to get the truck painted so I can kind of move it out so that I can paint this stuff in the spray booth, because I have nowhere else to paint it. Journey's getting picked up tomorrow. Noon at the latest, earlier probably, he said. He's coming from Michigan, about a 4-hour drive, so he's going to come pick that up tomorrow. It's complete. It's ready to go. It plays awesome. Sounds good. I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. Back doors on it and everything. Back door is not perfect, but it's good. It's not bad. You know, it's got a few little imperfections in it, but I'm all right with that. I went with the gold lock because the front had the gold lock. I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. It's different, you know. This is, I think that's the original lock, or somebody changed it at one point, and it had a gold lock, and I had the key for it, so I said, screw it, leave it. So I'm going to lay this down. I think we'll do this side first, because we got some blue up here still coming down to there. Okay, that's all that's on this side, is just this upper. So we'll lay it down on a moving blanket. I got a moving blanket laying right there. And we'll put some rubbing alcohol onto some towels, and then we'll cover it up with some saran wrap. Let it sit there for an hour or so, and at that point, it should be ready to scrape off. We'll see how it works. Might take longer than an hour, I'm not sure. Front, I'm just going to sand it down, and then it'll get painted black. So basically on the Smash TV, I'm going to be fixing the front, painting it black. We're going to fill in all these holes. We're going to get rid of the bill acceptor. Somebody obviously cut that in there at some point, so we're going to take that out. Then on the sides of the cabinet, we're going to touch up all the black around the guy. The guy really doesn't need any touching up, maybe a little bit in the red areas, but 95% of it is extremely good shape. So we're not messing with that at all, really. When I touch up the black on the sides and I paint the front, I think I'm going to clear coat everything with a satin clear, not a matte finish, but a satin clear. I think I'm going to go over the guy and everything with it, just to protect this artwork from future you know, use and getting scratched up and stuff like that. I think that would be a really good way to preserve it for as long as possible. I see something weird going on down here. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's some paint. This paint is weird. It's got to be latex. Look at this. It's just literally peeling off. I wonder how they originally stripped most of this. I don't know. This is a dent right here. We can fix this dent. We could touch up the red, touch up the black, and then we can, like I said, we'll clear over it all just to give it a nice even coat so that it's, I don't know what this paint is. It's like right here sticky. But I don't. It's funny how they stripped most of it and then they just quit. I don't know, whatever. So let me get this laid down, and I'll show you how I'm going to do the stripping. I've done it before in past videos. Also, Charlie from Overtime Arcade's done a few videos on it as well. He's actually the one that turned me on to using the rubbing alcohol with the paper towels and the saran wrap. I had never tried it before. I had tried citrus strip in the past and just ended up screwing up the paint job. So don't use citrus strip because it just doesn't work. And I was skeptical when I tried it, you know. As to be, you never know. You don't know how something's going to turn out. But it worked really well, and I was very impressed with it. I did it on my Moon Patrol. I did it on the guy I got my Sinistar cabinet from. He did it on Sinistar. I did it on, what other cabinet did I do it on? Satan's Hollow. Satan's Hollow got it done too. The Kickman cabinet that I bought, the guy that I'm doing those Tato cabinets for, I got the cabinet from him. He did that with alcohol. I know I did it. I thought I did another cabinet down there too, besides my Satan's Hollow and Moon Patrol. Oh, Bubbles. I did my Bubbles cabinet. It was painted black, and I stripped that all off, and I was able to save all the original bubbles that were painted on the side of the cabinet. If you guys haven't seen that, go back and watch that series. I've been trying to get all my series for every game that I restore, and I put them in a playlist, you know, from part 1 to the last part. So if anybody wants to see a specific one that I've restored, go to my playlist, and you'll be able to see them, and they're perfectly in order, starting with episode number 1, and you can just continually watch them straight through. So let me lay this down, and we'll get some alcohol going, because while that alcohol's sitting on here, I can sand on this Bride of Pinbot, start getting this thing ready for bodywork. We are going to paint the head of the pinball machine purple. Most of it gets covered with vinyl, but he wants to paint it purple. And we found a purple that we like at Summit Racing, and it's only 50 bucks a quart for the purple automotive paint. So that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to paint that whole entire head purple, and even over the back lettering. I guess he's going to put new on afterwards. I guess you can get that stuff, a stencil for it or whatever. You just spray paint it on. I'm not sure. I've never messed with it. So I need to lay this down. I don't have a lot of room in here. I really should move this pickup truck back a little further, but it's not the first time I've been this crammed before in my shop, so it is what it is. It'll be nice when Journey leaves, and then the hopefully the Tato cabinet, the Kip cabinet, will be leaving maybe next weekend. If I get a monitor working, which I'm having problems with the 4600. I'll tell you what, for this cabinet being as big as it is, it's really not that heavy, which is surprising to me. The 4600 monitor I'm working on for, I haven't really worked on it much. Let's say I worked on it for maybe a half an hour. I replaced the hot and stuff like that, and I can't get anything out of it. And I highly doubt it's the flyback, because those 4600 flybacks usually don't go bad. So I would think it's not that, but I don't know, stranger things have happened. Obviously, if it's the flyback, there's nothing I can do about it, but I'm gonna bet it's not the flyback. It's something stupid causing me not to get power, and I need to go through this flow chart and look at it. I actually might even have a manual on a 4600, And if that's the case, I'll look at the flow chart on there. If not, I'll just go online and look at it. See if we can't figure out why I'm not getting any high voltage to the tube itself. So, all right, let me go grab some towels and actually let's go. We're gonna use microfiber on this one. Now, when I use rubbing alcohol on these towels, I don't throw it in my garbage. I gotta take out my garbage. But anyways, I don't throw it in my garbage can in the shop. I usually will take it outside and burn it, or leave it outside overnight and let it dry, because that stuff can catch on fire. And I'd rather not have that problem. So if you guys go on Amazon or you go to Walmart, you can pick up rolls of microfiber towels for like 15 bucks. And I actually use them in conjunction with these blue towels here to wipe vehicles off, okay? You can wash them and reuse them if you want. But they are a lint-free towel, and that's what you need for painting cars. So that's what I use a lot of, and I use these as well. The Torx 4-ply towels are really nice. But we're gonna use these today because I think I've never used these before for the alcohol, but I believe it will maybe stay moist longer because of the material. I only have like a half a quart left. Might have some in the house. If not, I guess I'll be going to the dollar store or to Walmart and get more. But I don't have a lot to strip on this cabinet, so maybe I have enough. And maybe I can reuse this microfiber towel that I just got stuck. So what we're gonna do is take some rubbing alcohol. What I like to do at first is take a little bit and just kind of soak it over the paint. Okay. Just a little bit at first. And then we're going to take this microfiber towels. I wanted to keep it together, but it snagged on that stand over there and it ripped. Look at that, just about enough. We can make that work. Okay, and we're going to take a bunch of alcohol, completely saturate these rags. And it does kind of smell. It kind of smells like you're in a hospital. Good news is your hands are definitely disinfected after doing this. So I'm thinking that these microfiber towels might be better than using thick paper towels, because I think these are going to hold the moisture for longer. So we used about half of what I had left. I'm going to take some saran wrap. This kind of sucks because when you do a whole cabinet side, you can wrap the whole thing and really seal it off. But we might be all right. Really? And you let the alcohol do the work. You don't do anything. Just let it sit here. Now, temperature also plays a big role in this, as far as how long it takes to strip it off. Sometimes you have to do more than one application. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Okay? It's not like what I say is always going to work the first time. Heck, it might not even not work at all. I don't know. But you got to try to trap in the moisture as much as possible, because that's what's really going to help you out and keep you from wasting a bunch of rubbing alcohol. And don't rush the process. After, half an hour, 45 minutes of sitting, if it's not coming off, let it sit longer. just gonna let that sit. Let me get set up, and we're gonna work on getting these this cabinet prepped for body work. Okay, I'm gonna hit all the spots that I think are a little bit puckered up and need sanded down, and then we'll mix up some filler. I don't have any stripping discs with me to get this double-sided tape off, so I'm gonna see if I can sand it off. If not, I'll have to get one of those discs. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. You can see it comes off, but you can see when I sand through this artwork, you can see how well the stuff is stuck. I mean, that's 80 grit sandpaper. It takes a while to break through this stuff. And as soon as it does, this is all rough underneath. So that's why we're not gonna strip it down. If you look here, you can actually see the wood grain through the vinyl. So we'll hit all this with 180 grit, smooth it down nice and smooth, and do our body work to it. Okay, I got rid of all the double-sided tape on both sides, sanded anything that was puckered up. Now I'm gonna go over the whole cabinet with 180 grit, and then at that point, blow it off, and we're gonna start doing a little bit of body filler to it. I'm not wearing a mask right now because I do have my vacuum system hooked up, and this stuff is really not very dusty, very, very minor. But this vacuum sanding setup takes about 90% of the dust out of the air. When I do the filler and stuff like that, I will wear a mask because that stuff gets in your nose and everything, and it just sucks. So, all right, I'm gonna go get these three sides sanded down with 180. Okay, we're gonna mix up some filler and hit all the spots that we need to. Whatever type of vinyl this is or whatever's on this cabinet is strong as hell. But anyways, we're gonna get these areas bondoed and then see how that cabinet's coming. See if that blue's coming off that side or not yet. We're gonna be using the stuff I normally use because O'Reilly Auto Parts had it back in stock again. The U-Pull fantastic glaze. I switch between this and the U-Pull Dolphin glaze depending on who has it and who has the better price on it. I like both of the products. This stuff is 20 bucks a tube at O'Reilly Auto Parts. I bought 4 tubes the last time I was there. I don't need a ton of it. I'm not filling in major holes or anything like that. Now remember, I talk about this on all my videos. When you mix this stuff, make sure you fold it over and you don't stir it. You want to fold it over. Stirring it creates air pockets. Air pockets create pinholes in your body filler. You don't want to do that. And once again, guys, if anybody's interested in seeing how I do body work and paint on cars, check out my other channel. It's Troy's Car. I think I put it as Troy's Car Restoration and more or something like that. I forget the name of it. But anyways, if you go over to that channel, you can see how I paint cars and do body work and all that stuff. Weld. I'll be doing all that on this black truck that's sitting right behind me. And also I'm going to be painting that other white truck that's been here forever. Finally getting ready for paint. When you get a drag mark like that, that's something in your filler. Dirt. You see how smooth this stuff is? This stuff goes on like butter. I like metal Bondo spreaders rather than plastic. These hold up way better. They don't nick. The edges of them don't nick like the plastic ones do. And I'm going around looking with my eyes, finding anything that's small imperfection, filling it in. There's some screw holes here. That was from me. There's an actual nail right there that I need to tap in, but I don't have a punch with me right now, so I'll have to do that afterwards and just touch up that hole afterwards. Not the end of the world. You don't have a ton of time with this stuff. Depending on temperatures, it's going to depend on how quick this stuff cures. It could cure from 10 minutes to a half an hour, depending on what it is. It's 70 degrees in here, so this stuff's going to set up fast on me. So I got to keep going. Can't slow down. Yes, the legs are going to dig into the cabinet again. We understand that, but we want to give it a smooth surface for the vinyl to stick to. Unfortunately, playing the pinball with it moving around and jiggling around, it does create gouges in the wood. But by having a nice smooth surface to put that vinyl onto, will make it apply better. And it will be less likely to wrinkle up as quickly. My buddy that does these pinball cabinets goes way over the top when he restores them. They are like the best of the best, so that's why we are taking our time and really making the cabinet nice. I did that whirlwind cabinet for him last time. So, all right, we're gonna let that dry. I'm gonna clean this spreader off real quick. Then we're gonna see how this paint's doing on this cabinet. All right, let's unwrap this and see if it's ready or not. been about half an hour, 45 minutes, I'd say. Oh, it's coming right off. Throw these down here because we'll reuse those. Still a little bit on there. Looks almost green. Not too worried about the black area because I'm repainting the black. More worried about the artwork. Sticker really stuck. Let's take one of these wet towels here. Get a dry towel here, we'll wipe it off. Beautiful. Lost a little bit of black right there and a little bit around there. Not a big deal. Touch it up. Got a little bit of stickiness going on up there. There we go. Sweet. So that's one side. I'm going to get this flipped over and we're going to reapply the other side. Or not reapply, we're going to apply it on the other side now. Alright, same method again. Now the good thing is I'm not going to pre-wet it because these towels are already saturated. So we'll just stick these on here. And just add a little bit to the towels. Obviously we got a big gouge right here. We'll have to fill in with some filler. Not a big deal. It's a nice plywood cabinet. All right. It's working out good working on the pinball and this today because I'm not making much of a mess in the shop because I got this journey and the kicks cabinet sitting in here, and I don't have them covered up, so I don't want to get them dirty. And it's kind of nice to just get these couple spots cleaned up that needed to be cleaned up anyways while I'm doing the minor body work to the pinball cabinet. So I'm gonna let this set for, it's almost dry, maybe another 5-10 minutes, and we'll sand this down, and probably gonna go over this with the next coat of filler, because I don't know, you know, with these new modifications and stuff that they do, I don't know if this is going to be a different plunger in there, or, you know what I mean? So I'd rather be safe than sorry and just fill in anything that I think could potentially cause a problem. Right here, there's a nail sticking out. So I'm going to tap that in with a hammer and a little punch or something. I'm actually going to use a little star screwdriver. That's all it needed. Now it's recessed and we could fill over it on the next filler that I put on. Okay, so now this filler sands really easily because it's a nice smooth filler. I'm going to sand it with 180 grit. There's no need to go back down to 80 grit because so all that's going to do is roughen up all the areas around it that you've already sanded with 180. It's all you're going to be doing is putting 80 grit sanding marks in it, and you don't want to do that. So we're going to stick with the 180 grit. So let me get a mask on and I'm going to start knocking this down. Okay, this has only been about 20 minutes. Just want to test it and see if by chance it's lifting it quicker than I thought. It's taking off some of it, yes. So we can kind of get most of it off and then just cover it up for another 15 minutes or so. I got about 90% of it off that quickly. Some paint's different than others. I'm pretty confident this is latex, especially by the way it's acting. I'd say about another 15 minutes, that's gonna be good to go. In about 15 minutes, I'll be ready to sand down that pinball cabinet. That pinball cabinet, the base of it's just about ready for primer. After this sanding, I don't think there's gonna be anything else to do. And then I gotta work on the head. I'll probably honestly start doing body work to the bottom of this cabinet and a couple other nicks today, and maybe we'll start sanding down the head of the pinball. Okay, those areas are deeper, so we're gonna use some regular Bondo. I buy it from Summit Racing. It's about $40 a gallon, somewhere in that area. Not a bad price. We're gonna hit the deeper gouges with it on the Smash TV cabinet. Ugh. A little bit too much hardener. It's not going to hurt anything, but it's all right. It'll just dry a little faster. So let's go put a coat on these spots. Oh boy, I got to get a tripod ordered this week. Now, I like to spread my filler when the edges are busted up like this a little bit. I like to spread my filler from the edge in towards the cabinet. If you go the other way, so all you're doing is rolling the edge down with your Bondo spreader, and then you're going to do more coats. By doing it this way, the edge stays thicker. Okay, I just I didn't sand, but I could still fill in the nicks. Whatever, the Bondo that's not on the sanded paint will just come right off. But it'll stay in the nick area. That's all I'm really worried about on this coat. Just filling in the heavy stuff. And that seems to be all the big spots. So I'm going to clean this up and then just start sanding on that head for the pinball. Okay, if you're wondering why I did all the edges, we're not going to put T-molding on it like you originally thought he was going to. And those edges are raw plywood edges that they kind of painted over, and he wants those to be perfect. So I put a light coat of that glazing filler on all that. This stuff is almost dry. It's still a little sticky. So once that sets up, we can sand this down with 80 grit with the DA, kind of get these spots over here as well. Want to just finish up this side today on the Smash TV and get most of the pinball done today. This tag I took off the one side supposedly has something to do with this game being in Japan or China or something like that. It's actually has a Tato tag on it. So I don't know what that's all about. He told me to take it off and save it. So I will save it for him. So I'll be back here shortly and we'll sand the Smash TV spots on this side. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I have a couple little spots in the back of the pinball base that needs touched up, which I'm working on. The head's pretty much ready for primer. This is pretty much ready for primer. I sanded this down. I just did it off camera. I figured you guys saw me sand enough. So I sanded all the areas down. They're nice and smooth now. I'll have to fix the red up here and the black border, which isn't a big deal because I'll just tape off this edge when I paint the rest of the black. So this side of the cabinet is body worked and ready for some very small little bit of primering. We'll use a spray can for it. I'll show you what I'm going to use when it comes time to do that. Next video, I'm going to be working on the front, the whole front of the cabinet, and the top, and hopefully the other side, and finish the body work up on this, and then we can do some spot primering on it, and then this will be ready for paint. This will be ready for primer tomorrow or next day, which I might just primer it in the shop. I'm not sure yet. If I turn my gun way down, I can probably do it with not a lot of overspray, but we'll see what happens. So this is going to end part one of the Bride of Pinbot and the Smash TV restoration. The funny thing is on these two is this material is the same exact material that was used on that. So if anybody knows, let me know what that is. Is it a vinyl? Is it some sort of, I don't know what it is. It's strange. It almost sands off like it is vinyl, but I don't know. It's stuck like you can't believe. If they made vinyl stick like that these days, it would be really nice, because vinyl sucks nowadays. Just not very sticky, and it doesn't hold up very well. So like I said, that's going to end part one. It's going to go pretty quick, all these projects, I think, and we'll get them done and out of here, and we'll move on to those two Tato cabinets. Also, I need to do more work in the basement. I did order all the chips for Space Firebird. Is it going to fix it? I don't know. There is a custom chip on that board, on that soundboard. That could be the issue. I don't know. But we will keep plugging away at that board. I got all those new chips coming, hopefully in the next week or two. I got a bunch more 14-pin sockets yesterday came. So hopefully I can straighten out that board and get that to not be a green colored screen when I plug that in. But I want to get that game wrapped up. I still have not had a chance to go to Hobby Lobby to get that mat to make the screen bezel. But like I said, after these two projects are done here, I'm going to be working on those Tato cabinets, the Alpine Ski and the front line for that guy. And I need to build him two cabinets as well. I believe we're doing two cabinets. We're going to be doing the rock and rope in one cabinet of the new cabinets, and we're going to do Tetris in the other cabinet. So we're not using original Tato cabinets for those two games. They will look just like an original Tato cabinet. I don't know, I think side art, we're not going to be putting the Tato side art on it. We're going to be putting the original Tetris side art, and the rock and rope, he said he had some side art for the sides of that or something like that. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. If you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Please, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. Just lets you know when I post new videos. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.